Hi there, it's Steve Hart. I'm going to be making a video as a wrap up to our coffee talk meetup today. Um, every week on Thursday mornings, a group of us meets together at Panera Bread here in Palm Bay, Florida. And so today's topic, as I've titled it as, and you can read it. It says, "You in me and I in you." Now, this is taken from the scripture in John 14:20. And I'll read it again. It says, "You in me and I in you." Now, you may have also heard the saying, "I am he and you are he and you are me and we are all together." That comes from the song by the Beatles called "I Am the Walrus." And it's saying basically the same thing. And the concept is that we are all connected. We are all together, that there is a connection between all of us. And what happened today was it was brought up, the fact that when we see things in other people, that just doesn't seem to sit right with us. It doesn't feel right. We have a tendency to react. And this is the reason why, is because we're connected. And if you find someone doing something or saying something that you have a problem with, you have to ask yourself, why is that a problem for me? What is it about what they're doing or what I'm seeing that I feel uncomfortable with? Maybe there's something within you that allows you to see that, meaning that maybe you're doing the same thing and you're unaware of it, or maybe you have a tendency to want to do the same thing, but yet you're very controlling and judgmental of yourself. And so, because of the fact that we're so hard on ourselves, we become hard on other people about the same topic. I'm sure you can come up with examples in your own mind. But there's a lesson to be learned here in the fact that when we see somebody doing something or saying something that we don't like, we have to ask ourselves, why is it that I have a problem with that? Well, what the common answer is, well, it's not right. And here we get stuck in the duality of saying what is right and what is wrong. And don't get me wrong, I understand there is that which is healthy and that which is unhealthy about who we are, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the point is, it's not a matter of judgment, because when we judge ourselves, we judge other people. Now, there's a difference between judgment and discernment. When we discern something, we're actually becoming aware of whether or not we see that as being life-giving, joyful, and happy, and beautiful. And yet other people may see the negative side of it. And so therefore you get to make that choice. Now, it was also brought up today, the question about whether or not it's right or wrong. It's not just right and wrong. That is part of the duality, the them and us, the division, the separation, to get caught up in this duality. There is a place that is where it's a neutral way of thinking, of accepting what is, and not getting caught up in the duality, not getting caught up in the conflict or the fight. And we have those conflicts within ourselves, but when you can let go of the conflict, if you let go of the duality, as you begin to let go of it, you begin to step away, and you find that whatever problem that you're facing or whatever conflict is there disappears. Now, so therefore that was brought up today, and please hear what I am sharing with you, because when you find yourself having a problem with someone, you have to ask yourself, what is it within me that is so disturbing that I have a problem with them? Now, there's the other side of the coin, is the fact that when you see someone having a beautiful experience and having a wonderful outlook on lighter perspective, you also share that too, because see, we are connected. We're all together. There is a connection between us. So when I watch those videos or hear a story that tugs on my heart, where someone has won something or gotten a gift, or when a loved one is reunited. I'm always get a tear in my eye when I see these young kids seeing their mom and dad coming back from the war or the military, wherever they were, and there'd been a separation, and now there's a coming together. And the reason why is because I can identify with that. I can identify it, and you can too. When we see somebody on America's Got Talent use their talent and they get the golden buzzer and they win the opportunity to take their talent and to show it to more people, we get excited. We're touched by people's gifts and talents. That's part of our connectiveness. So you've got you got both sides of the coin here. You got the beautiful part that we see in each other, and that which we think is very ugly or unacceptable. And it is true, we have to use discernment to decide what that is. But everybody has their own perception of what that is. As we come together in Coffee Talk, today we had a good-sized group today. We had 2 new people show up. And not everybody's on the same level of awareness, and not everybody has the same perception. And that's what's so unique about the coming together in Coffee Talk, because we learned from one another. We learned to listen. And we learned to decide if their truth, or whatever it is they're speaking or sharing, is something that we can identify with, something that maybe we need to accept, or something within us that we need to let go. Because when you hear someone sharing their truth, you go, yeah, I didn't ever thought of it that way. Or you hear someone saying, yeah, I believe that, but you know what? It doesn't seem right to me now. It doesn't feel, maybe for the first time, I'm beginning to see that maybe I need to let that go. The message here today, and what I got out of Coffee Talk, was the fact that we are connected, and that we share the yin and yang of our differences. And it's all about waking up. It's all, when we feel that which is contrary to what we want to feel, or we don't feel good about it, it's to help us wake up and to ask ourselves, well, what is the truth? What is the truth in this? So therefore, when we come together, it's to me, it's a beautiful experience. I'm loving this. We're coming up on a year now of coming together every Thursday for Coffee Talk, and it's been amazing watching the people who are attracted to the group, because basically all I do is I just host this thing every Thursday morning and announce that I'm doing it, and people just start showing up. And throughout the year, there's been people that have come and gone. Some people come every week, some people come whenever they can, and people come and go even during the meeting. So it's beautiful, because the fact that I basically open myself up and staying in the now moment without an agenda, without any judgment. I just show up and let the people come, and then we learn how to love one another. We learn how to support one another, and I'm assuming you're doing the same thing wherever you are. So my message today is that realize that there is a connectedness between you and others. When you look into other people's eyes and look into their soul, you should be able to see them as they are and see yourself in them. And they will see themselves in you. Because when I look at you, I see the divine Spirit of God within you. And I'm connected with that. That is our connection. In the collective, we are all connected. And that is a mystery. I understand that. So some people, they don't quite grasp that. And I'm not going to go into that right now in the scientific side of it, or the spiritual side of it, which I think is all the same. The point is that we are connected. And when someone does something and says something that doesn't feel right within you, you want to, instead of reacting to what it is they're doing, ask yourself, why is it that I have a problem with them? And I'll give you one quick example. Throughout the years, I've had trouble when I'm driving to judge other people and how they drive. And you may have had the same experience. Did you see what he did? Look at that. He just pulled over. Put your turn signal on, dude. Well, the reason we react to those things, at least I do, is because I too have been hard on myself to be the best driver I can be, and to always use my turn signal, to always be courteous, to always be aware of the cars around me. And because of the fact that I hold that in my awareness, I have a tendency to react to people who don't do what I think they should be doing. And there is a lesson that's to be learned. Instead, what I've done in recent years is I've learned to let them be as they are and drive however they want to drive. My responsibility is to get my car to where it is I'm going and the people with me into that destination safely. And as long as I'm not in an accident then I've done my job. But I don't need to be a traffic controller for other people. That's just one example of what I'm referring to. Well, anyway, I hope that this helps you become more aware, as we have shared within our group today. When you see something and feel something that someone else is doing, instead of reacting, ask yourself, why am I having this feeling? Is it a judgment I'm making upon them and myself? And what is it I'm trying to judge? Is it a matter of right and wrong? Probably not. Because, usually the conflict disappears when you let go of the judgment, when you let go of what you think is right and wrong. And you look at all the possibilities of what could happen, what could be the truth, because the absolute truth, which I believe we're all seeking, is out there, but none of us have the absolute truth. Each of us have a piece of it. And that's why we need to come together. That's why we need to recognize our unity and our harmony. Because in that, when we come together, when Coffee Talk happens on Thursday mornings, it's beautiful, the pieces and nuggets of truth and beauty that come forth out of the mouths of those who are sharing and from their hearts. And you don't even have to speak sometimes. Sometimes just being present, there's a sense of support, a sense of love that shows up. I hope you have gotten something out of this, and I'll be sharing with you next week in Coffee Talk. God bless. Bye-bye. Namaste.